Well, good morning, and thank you all for being here. In the first 100 days of President Trump's administration, he's already delivered on his campaign promises of making America safe again and helping the American people to be more secure as well. And today we're here to recognize and to witness another milestone in his mission to protect our borders, to protect our communities, and to stop the flow of illicit drugs and trafficking into the United States of America. Today is a historic day. Here at Fort Everglades, over 22.5 tons or 45,000 pounds of cocaine and 50 pounds of marijuana are valued at over $500 million are going to be offloaded and taken out of circulation. This is an unprecedented seizure of illicit drugs that is the result of 14 different interdictions of drug smuggling vessels off the coasts of Mexico, Central and South America by the crews of the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Stone and Coast Guard cutter Mohawk. They've done incredible work here with their crews to remove these drugs out of the system so they can be destroyed. These efforts were coordinated with the Helicopter Tactical Squadron air crews that you see with us today as well, Tactical Team Pacific law enforcement detachments that were involved, and partner agencies that are operating in the Eastern Pacific Ocean. The brave men and women of the Coast Guard do work every single day, 24/7, and they do it with excellence. Their dedication, their resilience, and their patriotism is something that we all can admire and does not go unnoticed. Their core mission is simple, but it's incredibly crucial. It's to secure our territorial waters and to safeguard our nation from those who seek to do us harm. Their mission directly aligns with President Trump's vision to make America safe and strong again. And thanks to the Coast Guard's relentless maritime security and their interdiction efforts, $517 million worth of illegal drugs will never reach American communities here by what you see today as a result of these weeks of work. That means that fewer families are going to be torn apart by addiction, that fewer lives are going to be lost to overdoses, that communities will be safer, and fewer resources will be at the hands of dangerous, violent cartels that seek to do all of us harm. This action is a testimony to President Trump's commitment to delivering for the American people, and he has unwavering dedication to our military strength, to our border security. Our law enforcement are producing incredible results, and his leadership is making America safe again. I want to thank all of the leadership teams I have behind me, but also those that are here today that have taken part in these interdiction efforts. They've done incredible work, and the Coast Guard has partnered with many other agencies that you see represented here today to do this work, and it's that kind of cooperation which helps our country be successful in going after these dangerous criminals. In just the last month, decisive action was taken to secure the extradition of 29 different Mexican drug cartel bosses to face justice in the United States. Today's massive drug seizure is further proof of that work. We are cleaning up our communities from drugs like fentanyl and cocaine and marijuana, the dangerous substances that fuel addiction, crime, and destroy lives. We're protecting American people, and we're also making sure that their cartels are not profiting from the trafficking of these drugs and preventing violence in our communities. Under President Trump's leadership, we are dedicated to also making sure we're addressing the needs of the Coast Guard, making sure that they have the resources that they need, the equipment, the support, and the training, and the infrastructure to come into the next century protecting and defending our country. They are the premier law enforcement maritime agency in the world, and our support and what we provide for them to do that with is incredibly important. That means that we are going to maintain our vast maritime domain, and that we're going to ensure that we continue to lead the way. Thank you to all of those in the Coast Guard, the other agencies partnering with us today, for your work in preventing drug smuggling and all that you've done to bring these drugs offline so that they can be taken out of our communities and to stop hostile activities before they get to our shores. May God bless each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless the great United States of America. Thank you.
Good morning.
We're going to keep this press conference on topic, focusing on the Coast Guard and all of their works to what they've done to bring this drugs offline and to focus on their interdiction efforts today. You know, I do know that there are some lawmakers that are concerned about that, and so we're certainly working with them to address their concerns. We've seen some evidence to it, but we also know that other areas of our border have been threatened as well. We've seen the cartels get much more desperate lately. As the border has become more secure and they're not able to follow their traditional routes of trafficking drugs and humans and conducting their violent activities into the country, they've become more desperate, and we've seen more interactions, and obviously you've heard on the news and in reports and in factual information too that even violent activities against our law enforcement officers and those in the military have been escalated, sometimes up to 200% to 300% in some areas, because of what these and those who perpetuate crimes, how they're feeling today with their focus on securing our nation.
Thank you very much. As a reminder, the focus is on the Stone's interdiction, so please keep your questions to that. And also, please announce your outlet as you ask your question. Please.
Great, thank you for the question. So the Stone is one of the Coast Guard cutters and aircraft that are continually deployed not only along the U.S. border, but in the maritime approaches on the high seas approaching it to interdict threats. I can't be specific about how many cutters are on patrol where, because that's certainly something the cartels would want to know. But we are part of a broad U.S. government effort that joins with the rest of Department of Homeland Security, Department of Justice, and others to present those forces necessary to present 100% operational control of the border. And that happens certainly on the southern border, not just the southwest land border, but the maritime border there and this southeast border that approaches Florida. We are just as on guard here as anywhere else along that southern border. Thank you.
Well, and again, we're going to focus today on Coast Guard cutter Stone and their work with Mohawk and the rest of the teams on what they've been able to accomplish today at bringing security to our country.
Thank you, ma'am. Again, if you do have those follow-ups, please connect with our public affairs specialists after. We will connect you with the appropriate office to answer your inquiries that are unrelated to Stone's interdictions. Next question. Yes. Respectfully, again, I ask that the questions are kept to the Coast Guard cutter Stone and the Coast Guard cutter Mohawk's interdictions. There is definitely an opportunity at a later time, not the focus of this press conference, to have other questions. And we're happy to take those and refer them to the appropriate authority. Any other questions about the interdiction or our nearly $500 million drug offload today? I don't have immediate stats for you, sir. We can connect with NBC6 afterwards, and we're happy to give some background on that. Certainly, we would like to highlight these interdiction cases and the success of our operations downrange.
Thank you for the question. The U.S. southern border is a system, and it's interconnected, which is why a team approach across that system is so critical. So as we see greater control on illegal crossings and attempted smuggling across the U.S. southwest land border, we can expect that those cartels will try and get their drugs or move people a different way. And that's why continued presence, operational presence, and enforcement to ensure we have 100% control of the entire border at all times is so critical. I would just say that the cartels that we are focused on combating and addressing, many of which have been designated by the president as foreign terrorist organizations, they are dynamic and they adjust to our tactics. And so it's a continual effort as they shift to counter them at every turn.
Thank you. Any additional questions?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for that question. It takes a lot to stop people trying to flee prosecution, and some of the tactics that we use are we do employ warning shots and disabling fire from our helicopters when they fail to yield to just being, in the proximity of the Coast Guard, and so many of the cases do require disabling fire. We execute the safe employment of force, and then we dispose of those go-fast vessels at sea as hazards to navigation. And so, yes, sometimes it is a souvenir to take those back and display those, just as we're proudly displaying the actual contraband themselves. So, if the Coast Guard has a flaw, we make this mission look easy. It's not easy. And the Commandant was talking about tactics changing. We have to keep up with those changing tactics. In the case where I spoke about 4 go-fast interdicted simultaneously, they were transiting in a diamond formation, all 4 having contraband out and on deck. That is us changing the behavior of these drug trafficking organizations. It's due to persistent presence, and it's due to our successful tactics.
Thank you. We do have time for at least 1 or 2 more if someone has a question pertaining to the offload. If not, then I thank you all for your time. There are still Coast Guard Public Affairs specialists available if you have pull-asides or one-on-ones with members of the Coast Guard Cutter Stone crew who may be available. Please link up with one of the uniformed Coast Guard Public Affairs specialists for those opportunities. Thank you all, and you may continue to film B-roll in the backside. Thank you.